Welcome everybody to Witch Bitch, where we talk the real tea. And if you have been if you were watching just a minute ago, you would know that we were facing some technical difficulties, but we're back now and we're here. So
yes.
We've got Mandy on the show again, which is really, really exciting. And today we're talking about practices that we can adopt and do for ourselves to help ourselves through the crazy energies, the tough energies, the low moments, and the times, most importantly, the times where you don't want to help yourself. These are the things to do. So
yes.
Yeah, it's a very important, a very exciting topic, and I'm so ready for it. It's a big one, but here we are and we're talking about it.
Yeah, and we're so grateful to you, Mandy, for helping us out with Zoom and everything, because we kind of got it about 5 minutes into the conversation and realized that the sound was really choppy. So we're grateful to you for taking the reins.
You're welcome.
Cool. So you were talking about, I remember you were talking about a wave of light and us coming up to meet the wave of light. So these practices are going to help us to raise our vibration so that we can get into that wave of light and sort of ride the wave.
Yes, ride the wave rather than get knocked over by it is the way that I keep feeling it and seeing it when I'm getting shown this wave. And it's a really high, big, light wave. And I think, last year before, I think I was talking about a tsunami wave of light that was coming in. And actually a lot of people were having dreams about it at the same time. So, and I made a little live with it and said that, this wave really it's going to hit us whether we want it to or not, in the sense of whether you're aware of it or not, it's still going to come in, and it is still coming in. And what we're doing at the moment, we're raising frequency to meet this wave. So it's like when I see it, it's like we're going to rise up to be able to move into the top of the wave. The wave will take us and we'll ride the wave like on a surfboard. One of the things that I always say to people is, tie yourself onto the surfboard because we're off on another journey. And this has been this last week. We've been really riding a lot of these heavy duty solar waves and stuff that are coming in. And they do hit the body. They really do affect the body a lot. And like I said in there just before, I've been needing more sleep. Really needing, like we've just turned our clocks, have just gone forward, and that always throws us all out for a while anyway until we all adjust again. But I'm going to bed earlier than what I would have ever, and really solidly sleeping for, good hours now. So yeah, it's really important to pay attention to the body. But like you say, oftentimes when we're in that space and we really need to do what we need to do for us, we tend to not do it. It's one of those times where it's a weird thing, isn't it? When we're in that slump and we're in that stuff and we tend to do everything opposite to what we would really need to do for ourselves,
Yeah, that's been coming up actually for me. That thought that you just touched on there has been coming up for me this past couple of weeks, where I've wondered why it is that I self-sabotage. And when I start to feel my vibration getting raised, why I do things to bring it back down again, because it is all coming from me. I'm the one doing it. And so I'm like, Claude, why do you do that? Why are you self-sabotaging? And I think initially what it is that I'm used to that low vibrational feeling. My body is pressurized to that.
Yes.
And I'm when I start to feel a bit lighter and a bit more spacey kind of, I start to feel a bit of anxiety about floating away or being out of control. All these kind of feelings start to come up in me where I'm like, oh, this is different. I'm not used to it. I've got to go back the way I was before. because I know how to function in that feeling, in that
Yes.
vibration.
Yeah.
And, you know, it is survival mode, I think, a lot of the time, where I'm doing things, my habits are all about survival, and that's how I've learned and how I've been programmed.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a matter of, I think, building that trust muscle, that when your vibration starts to raise, that you're not going to float away, that we're not in control, but that we're not out of control, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
No, we're not. And again, it's listening to the prompts of the body, you know. And I've noticed in many of the workshops recently that I've been running, you know, a couple of day workshops, we were really diving into a lot of the patterning and the programming that we've all been running and clearing them out and all that sort of thing. And what I've come to see is that there's so many that come in that, and part of it is looking at our prompts, you know, what's been prompting us to do, where do we sort of distract, where are we allowing ourselves to be distracted rather than going with the prompts, you know, that are going to be good for us, and we tend to just do something that isn't usually good for us as good. I think we all make better choices than we used to, you know, years back. But what I've really come to see is that there's a lot of distraction, and there is, you know, there's so much going on around us all the time, environmentally, with everybody in our lives, with all the narratives running, you know. And what I'm seeing is that, you know, everything that has been thought about being created or talked about over the last 10 years is now all coming into reality. It's like it's really showing up. And it was interesting. I was watching a movie the other night, and there was a part in there where this man said this very wise thing, just one bit in there. And he said that it wasn't even about now as such, but it was like, in this present moment, there's too much matter. And I was like, actually, you could apply that right now to this place here right now. There's a lot of matter that's been created into, well, energy that's been created into matter that is now showing up. It's like every single person's conscious reality is now actually really playing out in front of them. And it's like there's so many, all these different everywhere. So there is a lot of distraction, and just that there's a lot of people not listening to the prompts within, that soul's trying to, you know, sort of get through and give them better direction.
Yeah.
So it's looking at where you may be distracted, but just some basic stuff is definitely hydration. You know, if we think about the water in our body, it's like there's so much going on in the nervous system and the cells really need the water. It needs to be flushed through. We're flushing through a lot of dead cell from all the cellular programming that we're clearing out, and the memory. We need to allow those cells to be flushed out of the body now, the dead cell. So there's a lot of hydration. It's about hydration, grounding, like we were talking about nature, you know, in respect to nature and going into nature, being nature, and allowing ourselves to flow with that, then rather than, you know, sort of sitting in a concrete world behind screens like this all day. I had one girl who contacted, and she said, I just don't know what's happening. I feel like I'm losing the plot. I'm not in any sort of motivative energy at all. I'm just more depressed than I'm, you know, in a joyful state. Rah-de-rah, and I said, you've got to get out into nature. And I said, particularly if you're sitting behind computers all day. And she said, that's what I do. I mean, I can only work on here doing my creative stuff through events and things for, 2 hours at the most. And I'm just like fading. It's like, oh my God, I have to go and have a sleep. It just drains you. So it's taking good care and knowing, like listening to those prompts of the body is going to let you know, like I do with the computer, you know, I've had enough now, I need to go and take a break. I go outside or I go and get a drink of some sort, you know, just revive a bit and become more alive again, because it takes all that life force from you. And I see the feels like
it does.
You know, So that, and those energies are also, as you know, like we because we're an electromagnetic field, we've got all the electricity, we're becoming more electric, and we're becoming more almost computerized.
Yeah.
Which I know, it sounds like that's a control thing, but it isn't. Our circuit boards are changing, and I remember when I was, doing a lot of energy table work with clients, and, the client would get on the table and it was as if we were bringing down their circuit board. It was like bringing it down, activating and punching in new coding. It was really bizarre, but it worked, and it was always happening with all the clients. And that was a particular time when things were really needing to be like, this was probably about 2017, 18.
Yeah.
And when bodies were really shifting through a lot of heavy density, and a lot of light bodies were starting to be really sort of activated, that was when that was sort of happening. Which was interesting for me to see, because here we are with these circuit boards as such.
Yeah.
The other thing that I feel really important, other than really coming to self, is a good magnesium gel. Magnesium is really, really important at the moment for our field. It clears and helps the electrical field. And I get a really good quality one from a woman just up the road, basically, and it's a really, really good magnesium. And it is the gel, so I just rub it on me before I go to bed, and I have these amazing sleeps. And I can feel that has helped keep me in alignment, I reckon. It's sort of, it's really, I can't say exactly how it's helped me, but I know it has. I can feel it. The other actual really cool thing too is I'm also using an activating collagen, which is amazing. Like, it's actually amazing. And what it does is it's activating cells into wellness. And so wherever there's any sort of damage within the body, and because we stopped making, which I didn't realize this, I thought it was later in life, but we actually stopped producing collagen in our bodies around 25 years old.
Yeah.
So we have all these years. I mean, I've got many years after that I haven't been, producing as much collagen or any, I don't know if it's any, but not much. And so that's what creates a lot of the aging and the weathering in our skin and everything. And so this is like the glue that keeps our bodies together. And joints, it's helping gut, it's helping every single part of the body in many people. And it's an amazing product. I love it. If anyone's interested, just get hold of me, because I want to plaster it out there everywhere.
Well, you can say it here, actually. I'm interested. I mean, I'm not 25 yet, so I'm still producing it, but I'm still interested.
It's a very good product, definitely that. 30 days and people are aging backwards.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've lost sunspots and stuff on my face. I'm not having to use as much, cover up, which is interesting. And my hands aren't as wrinkled. They always look like very old hands, even when I was younger. And now I can feel my whole, like, everything's tightening up in a sense, and skin.
Yeah.
My joints are improving. Yeah, it's great. It's awesome stuff. So there's things like that really help us in this time.
Yeah.
So our bodies are under such strain.
Yeah. Talking about joints, because I've always had, since my 20s, I've had issues with my knees. Yeah, with my knees.
I can't walk up the stairs with my knees.
Yeah, and so I started to take organic sulfur.
Oh, yes.
And that really improved my joints.
Did it really?
Yes.
Really? Wow.
Improved them. Yeah.
I didn't know
and
that.
I used to get a lot of like aches in my back and stuff, and it really improved it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
And that's called MSM.
MSM for short.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Horrible. And it's a bit of I must admit, like, the most challenging thing with MSM for me, or any herbal remedy or, tincture
Mm.
is getting up and taking it as the first thing you do every morning. That's what I find really difficult. But once you push through it enough times, it just becomes
habit,
and it becomes ritual, and turning it into a ritual is something really fun. So I'm currently taking like this, what's it called? Something vitamin C.
Oh, liposomal.
Yeah, liposomal. That vitamin C. And it's actually, I enjoy taking it because I take it with honey and I take it with water, so I don't have it like straight.
Yeah.
Because I'm smart and you didn't do that.
No, I just took it straight when I was doing it. And liposomal vitamin C is kind of like, I mean, the taste isn't great, but it's the texture of it, because it's kind of really thick.
Yeah.
And it doesn't go down very well.
But with honey and water, it's actually, I would say it's almost enjoyable. Like I wouldn't drink it like just for the taste, but out of all the horrible things that I've tried, it's actually one of the best. So that's something that I've been doing. And also, I think listening to you, Mandy, a big thing that came up for me that I wanted to share was about listening to the signs of your body and also the universe and life around you. Because what I've realized is that we know everything that we need to know. The information is always given to us. Our spirit guides, the universe, our bodies, our higher selves are always telling us all the time what's going to happen, what is happening, what you need, how to get what you want, how we can navigate these times. Everything is information and it's all coming to us all the time. But the only thing is, we can't pick it out unless we're already there. And it's like, oh, that's what you were telling me when I realized that. So it's a matter of learning the language of the universe, of your spirit guides, your higher self, of your body. Well, your body's a bit of an easier one because you can always ask, and like you can ask anything, but because your body's right here, it's like it creates the feelings inside feelings you. And stuff. But so that's good. That's a plus. But the past couple of weeks, life has been really up and down for me, and I decided that I was going to do a spirit guide channel and talk to my spirit guides. And what I received, what they told me was like, I was feeling a bit lost about my job and what to do, and like what to do about Sydney. And what they told me basically was like, you don't have to do anything because you're doing it already. And also you're not going to be here for anywhere near as long as you think. Like, you're going to be out of here so fast. So just enjoy this time because you're never going to have it again. This is like, I mean, beautiful. Yeah, it's so beautiful, right? Yeah. It's like you're never going to have this moment of your life again. So just enjoy it. And so I was like, okay. And then I did. I kind of let it go. And literally the next, not even a week later, like maybe 4 days later, I didn't have to work anymore. There was a situation where now I no longer have this work, which I felt really, I was going to quit. That's kind of where it was heading.
Right.
Like getting it energetically, it was just really hard for me. And so I was like getting to a point where it's like, I'm at the end, but I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to leave because I loved these people, and I could feel that I was needed there. Yeah. And it was just really hard. And it worked out in a way that was so quick and also gave everyone the highest potential. Like everyone, I didn't even have to say, there wasn't one time where I told she's not my boss, but my boss in terms of explaining things. My boss, like, I didn't even say once I'm thinking of quitting. Like, there was none of that. I never even mentioned it. And then 4 or 5 days later, this all happens. And I was shocked. I was like, oh my
What,
God.
that your higher self was right?
Yes.
I know, but that's
usually,
just
I mean,
how easy it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
usually it takes a long time for what they're telling me to happen. In the past, that's kind of been the theme. And it's like, oh, okay, it's going to be a
but
long
that's
time.
why we're here talking about this, because the energies are changing.
It's like,
That's right.
Doing this now.
So
That's right.
I think a big practice for people is to like start channeling the higher realms. Like
Yes,
what
definitely.
I do is
Come
I
back
grab
to
my
self.
journal, higher self, spirit guides, angelic energies, whatever you feel called to communicate with. Grab a journal, grab a pen, and this is what I do. I say the mantra, I channel towards my spirit guides, or insert who you're channeling to here, or I call upon my spirit guides to channel to me and through me anything that I need to hear in this moment, or anything that you want to tell me in this moment. And things just right away just start coming. And if they don't come straight away, you just write, and like you just write what you think they would say or whatever you feel, and then it starts to roll. And then and there's times where I'm writing so fast and I come to the end and it's like, whoa, I was not even there. That was like something coming through my hand. And I think for me, having a communication with a vibration and energy that is higher up and can see what's going on, they're above the wave, they're above the craziness, and giving me that higher perspective, and like giving me love as well, because these beautiful beings, like, I mean, your higher self always loves you, your spirit guides always, like, all these energies are loving you and want to help you. And so that's something that I've been doing and practicing, and I think I would like to offer it to other people to try, because it's something that gets you above the density.
But once you've got, like, this is the other thing, once you've got that information, like you're channeling it and they've given you the information, it's up to you then to listen, to trust, and to action it, or not action it, whatever it is that needs to be done, or to have peace of mind around what they're telling you, and and to, because that's the thing for me, like, that I could be told 50 things, wonderful things, and if sometimes I'm like in resistance to it, because I'm on I feel like I'm on a trajectory that I've created in my life, and if they say, right, you got to make a detour, I'm like, sorry, that's not in the plan. I've created my own plan, thank you. And so you got to be prepared to actually do the things that you need to do. I can help yourself.
There's I call them, our haka. You know what the haka is here. Well, my haka has always been bring it on. When I'm like, why wait? Let's just get on and let's do it. And there's been moments where I've gone to say, bring it on, and I've had this little thing of like, whoa, hang on a minute. Not yet. It's important. And that's where when I was talking about the prompts, people are hearing the prompts or feeling the prompts, they're not actioning, they're not taking the action with them. And therefore what we tend to do, and what always used to happen, was we had to create stuff to happen. Say, like, you were wanting to leave that business, that job. What we would have done in the past, maybe not you, Juliet, but us oldies, when we were back in our drama time, we'd have to create some drama that would either get us fired, or we'd have to create it like an accident where I couldn't actually go to work, rather than being honest, open, and just saying and trusting. We would honestly create so much drama around things to get us out of those things that we wanted to move on from. And really and truly, it's as easy as what you have just mentioned and how you described it, is just purely by having an intention. And when we have that set within ourselves, you know, whether it's something that our egos come along with, or usually if it's a soul prompt and it's something that we know soul's really wanting us to push to, then it will just happen organically without us having to say a word. And I know for me, when I've realized around me are people that I really don't resonate anymore, and I love them, but they're just not, you know, this, like, we've all moved into different spaces. It's not that they're no good for me anymore, anything like that. It's just that we're in different vibrational states. All I have to do is just know within myself that that's actually okay to move on now, you know, and it'll just move. Everything just moves out of my field and life so easy. I don't have to say anything to anyone anymore. And I used to create lots of different situations. I created a lot of drama just to get out of relationships, or, you know, whatever it was that I wanted to do and I couldn't voice because I was, you know, closed up in here.
Yeah.
All of that. But now it's just purely intention, and it just happens so swiftly and so beautifully. It's exciting, actually, like, really it is. But so many people's lives are in this, you know, it's almost like the turntable that trains, you know, go on to change track sometimes, you know, they get on that turntable. It's like everyone, in fact, I feel like it's everyone's lives are on that turntable at the moment. And it's like, you know, you might have missed the opportunity to jump off. Sometimes I've said too, you know, it's felt like we're in revolving doors. You know, we're in there and we can't actually find the out. It's like everything's just flying off around us, and we actually haven't had the opportunity to even step out into some of it. It's just moving so quickly. And this revolving doors just continually keeps going round and round until we're at the right space to move on and move out. But it can all feel very crazy sometimes. And there's so many strange things happening at the moment, you know, and have been for quite a while, like really weird things that are just sort of so out of the ordinary that you think, man, this world is really getting crazy.
Yes.
Like, you know, it sort of is. There's a lot of crazy.
That's right. So this is the way I see it. If things are crazy on a macro level, you know, which it is, then it has to be, because I always think of like things brewing under, like it's like we were talking about the light wave, like for a wave to come, there has to be so much pressure under the water for it to push all the water up. And I feel like that's what's happening. Like, if there is so much change happening on the macro that we can see out there in the world, imagine what's going on underneath.
Yes.
In the micro world, like all the energies that we're feeling, all the craziness that we're feeling, all the things that are happening, you know, in families, personally, between, you know, your personal relationships, all of that, your work relationships, it's all getting churned up.
It is. Absolutely.
Yeah. And like, it's craziness.
Yeah. And it is a matter of being, again, paying attention, like actually paying attention, and, you know, choose your battles. Like, actually, if you really aren't into whatever it might be, people might be pushing you into, you know, social groups or whatever it is, just absolutely say no and don't go, because it's not going to turn out well for you if you do go against that push. You know, it won't.
I've had people who have well-meaning and lovely, beautiful people telling me what they think I should be doing to, you know, get a result, or they believe there should be a result and I need to take this path to get that result because it's better for me, it's better for them, it's better for the group, or whatever. And it's, I've been feeling, maybe a few years ago I would have gone, oh, okay, yeah, I've got to follow their advice. The more these energies are kind of like blooming in the world, the more I'm starting to feel, no, I need to do it the way I feel is right for me. And because if I'm following my internal compass, then it's going to be the highest good for everyone, even if it doesn't look that way on the outside.
Yes.
You know, because I'm following my compass and my internal navigation system,
Yeah.
And learning to trust it. Because if I'm not giving myself a chance to trust, even if I do make mistakes, even if, it didn't turn out this time, if I'm not going to allow that to play out in my life, how am I ever going to learn how to trust that intuition in myself?
Exactly. Yeah. And there was always this inner knowing and trust. Like I say, I used to be so gung-ho, and I still can be, but I've learned to just be more patient and take more time and not rush into, whereas before, I was just on this, I was excited to be here. I still am. and honestly, I was racing. I just wanted to race on. Come on, hurry up, everyone, hurry up, come on. Honestly, I was shocking. And learned through some of that we really can't do that. We have to wait. Others aren't ready. It's not time. There's everything's sort of got to be in its right place.
Yeah.
So, Spirit said to me one day, how arrogant are you to think you're the only energy in the universe? That shut me up, didn't it? It was like, right, yes, I know. Okay, I need to stop. So now I'm more paced, and I do just flow with it now. And when you do, there is just everything just unfolds. It's just that flowing with the go, and not pushing it, not driving it, just allowing it to show you where it wants to go. And at this point in time, like I was saying, there's nothing that's written in concrete anymore. Like we had certain people come into our lives that were going to play certain things out for us to be able to heal the wounds that we were carrying. Now those people, there's still some of that showing up, obviously, because there's still people that are, as we all are, still working through our cellular stuff. But it's like we're not back in the old programming like we were. We're working our way out of that, which is now leaving us more as our creatorship. Yeah. We're in our own creatorship now, and that we can now start really feeling ourselves into what it is we really wish to be. What do we want to be? And when we think of things like if we're in relationships, say, and we've had our time in there and things are, shifting, this person sort of moving, we feel like there's distance when we're, or it may not even be like that. We're just actually living very separately and just sort of coming together as housemates. Then with that, what we tend to do, and what if we think about it, what we do is we hold on in there because we're emotional. We have emotion, and we came in to learn emotion here. We came in to actually master, I don't know whether you have been, but I was told we came in to master ourselves here. And that is partly right, but it's really about mastering the emotion, because the emotion's what takes us off onto all these different jaunts. We go off into all these different places, create all this drama and carry on because we're emotional. And if we drop the emotion, and that emotion comes with judgment, it comes with not good enough, too good, the separation state, it has all the separation vocab, in it. And so when we drop all that and we come into actually just being an energy vibration, there is no attachment. There's no attachment to anything. We can move through things without those attachments, without the emotional state to it. And we just flow with the go, because we know that if anything's moving on, it's not a bad thing. It's a really good thing. And that there's always more that's going to flow through to us and through us, really, because it is a movement. And that's what I mean when I say we are nature. Nature never stands still. It's always changing. It's always moving and expanding and breathing and, retracting. And it's doing that all the time. Universe is doing that all the time. We are that. So when we try and put ourselves into these structured lives that are just conditioned to system and conditioned to habit and even addiction sometimes, and we do the same thing every day, and might do a little bit different one day and then the same every other day. It's like we are not leaving this open for the divine to come and play. you know, and show us actually more about who we are. Where our excitement lies is on the edge of our comfort zone. It's not in comfort. That's not where life is. That's where existing is. And we are now stepping into living here. We haven't been living here. We've been existing here, and we've been dying here, actually.
Yeah.
In that separation state that we've been living in and conditioned to, of the old matrix, is all about separation. You know, you and us, and me and them. You know, it's all about separation. Then what that has been is it's been a death and just decaying pathway. It leads us to decay and death. Whereas this, now that we're moving through into life here and really living in our bodies with life and force, that is a regeneration state. That's going back in time in the sense of aging. We're going to age backwards. We're becoming more you know, magical in our being. Like I was saying the other day about repairing 2 smashed toes, you know, that is always something that I've always known we can do. I know that magic. I know that power within us. I know that's who we are. And I just like want to switch everyone onto it, because when we live in that space, we are incredible, magnificent beings. This body is that, you know. And I'm in the state, like, I never loved my body throughout my life, never. I've always told it the most hideous things. And that was a program, you know, that was all programmed, and it was all conditioned by the way society made women feel or saw women as. And we're now pulling ourselves through that. And we're now, you know, for me, I just want to do as much as I possibly can to help my body. You know, and it was to the thought of our ancestors' journey. You know, without our ancestors, we wouldn't have this body. You know, we were created through our ancestors' journeys, and that there, I just want to honor it more. You know, honor their journey, honor their creation of me in this body. I mean, not so much who I am, but even that's part of it, but the body. So
Wow.
Late.
Wow. Mandy, that was amazing. I love that. Oh, thank you so much.
So welcome.
For all your generous information and sharing yourself with us today, because I think it's so needed right now. Like, we're all feeling things, new things, you know, life is kind of like squeezing us. And we don't have to feel like victims. We can help ourselves, and we can do things that, you know, that really can expand that squeezing feeling, expand it. And I think more conversations like this need to happen. We need to be all talking about this with each other.
And I think because there's so much fear, this is the other thing I really wanted to bring into this, is that when there's so much fear going on the planet right now, and with humanity, everyone's, you know, there's quite a lot, and it just flips around a lot, is that what happens is, if you think about the collective consciousness, so there in that fear, there's a huge wave in the collective consciousness of fear. And, you know I've been impacted by that. That's run me for about a week. You know, and I've known that it was all too big for mine. I don't have that amount of fear in me anymore. So it was all too much for just my stuff. So looking at that, I knew that this was a collective thing, and that what I do, and I know there's extreme amounts of light beings on this planet who are also those conduits for that. They're bringing through and transmuting and moving the old pain, fear stuff out of the way, that is helping to move it off the planet. So we're transmuting it through, and I tend to do it through my body, and move it through. Then what is my granddaughter's just coming, and so when that's happening, those are the times where you can get really, really consumed by the depression, the anger, the anti everything, you know, where you just want to actually go out and annihilate, maybe, you know, this is all other people's emotional stuff that's coming through and activating through you as well. So it's being aware of how those sorts of times when that's happening, that it's not all your stuff, because it can be very, very overloading and heavy. And to just be in nature as much as possible in that time, whenever that's happening through your body, to really transmute it, go to the sea, stand with your feet in the water if you can't get in, if it's too cold, you know, just stand with your feet in the water, and hug a tree, lie your back on even just in your back lawn. With your back on her, she just will pull all that out of you and she'll transmute it through her. So you know, those I feel, because I see when I know I'm feeling it like that, I see things that get more crazy out in the you know, community. Things start going really weird and getting really weird, and that's because this energy is impacting those people and creating all this, just running wild, really. Running wild. So yeah, that's an important thing to keep an eye on and feel into whenever you're getting impacted, like you're saying over the last week, Juliet. You know, when that time is riding, when we're riding those waves, what often happens is we get heavy, we feel heavy, and we feel uncomfortable in our body. We can feel like we need to eat more, or we need to do something, which is, the eating thing can be a grounding. Some people smoke cigarettes. That is a grounding thing. It's not just because they want to smoke a cigarette. Often it's about grounding them in with that breath. And so it's about really grounding, making sure that your feet are really planted on the earth and earthed in. So grow your roots down through your feet into the earth and really sit in the core of her. And also there's other things, like there's lots of different things I could suggest. How much time have we got? Are we out of time? We're out of time, eh? Yeah. And one of the things, just very quickly, is to be able to just put yourself in the ground, like move yourself energetically down into the earth, actually lay in her body. And what you'll find is you get really rejuvenated very quickly. It's like a rejuvenation tank. And in fact, what will happen is you'll go into a capsule. The inner earth beings and Papatūānuku, we call her here, Earth Mother, she'll put you in a capsule, which is a rejuvenation capsule, which will help you to really come back to the energy body that you know, and that's what the magnesium will do, is help with the energy body coming into alignment. But anyway, I'll leave it.
Oh wow, that's so much. That's so helpful. And
cool.
I think really that some of the things that you've talked about today, I think, are really easy to do. They're not difficult things. They're just basic things like hydration.
Yes.
You know, getting your feet on the ground, into the earth.
Things that won't overwhelm any further. You know, that won't. A huge load.
Thank you, Mandy.
So welcome. Thank you.
Till next time.
Yes. Awesome.
And thank you for rescuing us with the whole
no worries.
All right, till next time. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.